Huh. Blah. Hello. Being loud.
Goodbye.
Yes. No, not goodbye.
Good
And
session.
that's it from us.
Yeah, good session. They didn't have a plan, so they all died. Hello, and welcome to Crabby D&D. I am here with my players, Cat,
Hi.
Kirv,
Oh, hi.
Kay,
We're all gonna die.
and Vinny.
Hello.
We're unfortunately missing a Romulus today, as it is Mother's Day. So, happy Mother's Day to any of you mothers out there. And anybody else, just hello. You just get the regular hello today. You have to wait.
Boo.
Did
Nothing.
you say boo?
No, I was just eating my pizza.
Uh-huh. So yes, welcome back to This Party with No Name Has No Plan. And are you all sitting comfortably? Excellent. I look forward to seeing what you all have in mind. Well. You've all returned to my table. Glad to have you. Although we seem to be missing one Minotaur. I will do my best to play them as they would have. But for now, a recap. Last session, the party of otherwise Cat, Kay, Kirv, Romulus and Vinny had concluded their business with the Den of Furs and their shopping spree that they were on, before hitting the hay and sleeping away some of their ills they had acquired on their journeys beforehand. With the day ahead of them and a letter that had hurried along their timeline, the party concocted a rather peculiar plan that involved the making of an overly expensive bracelet and attempting to sell it to their target gnome, Pollet Brew. Having succeeded at getting into his manor, the party now wait patiently under the watchful eye of the guard until their buyer arrives. As you're led in through the doors, you are led towards the sitting room. You take in the lavish hallways and that are decorated with all manner of elven and sylvan-style decorations, plants and furnished lanterns that otherwise hold yellow convenience crystals within them, otherwise line the main hallway. The floor here is otherwise styled with varnished wood and a long red carpet that leads down the central corridor that divides the manor in two. There are 4 doors that lead off from this central hallway, but you otherwise led off to the leftmost door into a sitting room. The sitting room, which you are currently waiting in, is decorated with 2 circular rugs, a number of squishy red armchairs, a crackling crystalline fire to the south of this particular room, and an expensive array of wine bottles to the northern side. A silver tray with glasses and a single pitcher of delicate crimson liquid rest on the main coffee table next to the large sofa. Lining the walls are a handful of portraits of who you can only assume to be Pollet Brooks, with his wife and 2 children. Given the age of the picture, for those of you with an astute eye, you assume that the portrait had been done several years ago, and the children have probably since grown up and quite possibly even left home at this point. A single guard currently keeps watch over you all as you rest in the chairs and plot and plan. You don't know how long you have until Pollet appears, so what would you like to do in the meantime?
These markers are the doors.
Doors. Yep. And these are the guards that you have seen thus far. The main thing that you do note is that there are windows on both the front and the back door, and there was a figure at the back, so you're not entirely certain if it was a guard or not, but these are who you have seen.
Are the guards going to overhear us when we talk?
Yes, they will.
Damn.
Or quite possibly, anyway.
What, this is like a sitting room, right?
Mm-hmm. Some form of lounge or guest room, it would seem, for staying and relaxing, talking and conversing.
Likely that one of these 2 rooms is the dining room. Probably a
Guess
dining
the
room.
other would be a kitchen.
Yeah, that would add up to me. Can we hear any noise coming from either of these 2 rooms?
Make me a perception check. Yeah. total?
19.
19. There is a distinct lack of noise coming from this top leftmost room. You do know, as of entering this, you did take out the general layout, that this is a tower in its particular design. So there's a distinct lack of noise coming from this one, whereas this room has a distinct abundance of noise to a certain degree, with what sounds to be, from a 19, I'll say you can gather what here to be pots, pans, cutlery, and water.
Kitchen, then. Maybe the...
Who has the bracelet again?
Romulus?
Yeah, sure. And if you want him
Yeah.
to hand it to anybody, then at that point you can ask, or he can just put it
Yeah.
on the table.
Do you want to take it then, Kirv?
I think it will look more professional if Romulus shows the
That's
goods. Yeah, since it's very valuable. She raised her voice. Very valuable.
Make me a deception check.
Fuck. Oh, my word.
You did the one cartoon thing of...
My goose have nipples.
You did the one cartoon thing of, like, looking over your party's shoulders like, it's very valuable. Just... You don't... Oh, right, you're poisoned, that's right.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
So that was 9 plus deception, 9 plus 7, 16.
16! Let's see how the guard does.
Pardon me.
He seems to be paying attention to you, but not necessarily to your mannerisms at this current time. You're not entirely sure if he picked up on the fact or not, but he's not reacting in any way.
Okay. Because obviously this very expensive bracelet must be kept protected by our tallest member.
Yeah. Yeah, don't want it getting stolen. Not
No.
that I can imagine it getting stolen in here.
And Kirv looks at Kay, and since I've gotten myself rather ill, I probably wouldn't be the best to hold on to it.
You can't be looking at me. I'm hiding.
Oh, did I say Kay? Sorry, I meant cat. My bad.
Ah.
Apologies.
Yeah. I heard the bugs going around a lot at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Are you sitting comfortably then, and waiting for your target to arrive?
Yeah, how's Romulus's seat's integrity holding out?
Actually, roll me a investigation check.
Sure, let's do that. I think I should worry less about how his seat integrity is and how mine's doing. Heavier than him. It's 9 investigation.
Mm-hmm.
That's 7 for 16.
Yeah. Surprisingly, these chairs are well built. They're quite sturdy, and even for Romulus and yourself, like, they're holding up nicely. They're not bowing at all. They're maintaining shape quite firmly. This is good craftsmanship.
Oh, speaking of Romulus, what are we doing with him while Harlan is away?
I guess he's just existing.
I mean, for the time being, there can be a few ways you can do this. You can either give him general command, or tell me what you would like Romulus to do by giving him verbal commands, or K, you can ratatouille him if you want.
I was just thinking that.
I mean, it's up to you what you want to do. I mean, here's what you're going to do. You're going to tell me what you want him to try and do, and I'm going to, by doing something, and I'm then going to interpret it as Romulus. Because this isn't something you've done before, so it'd be like that first scene from Ratatouille, where he's being really all chaotic.
Sure. When I have something I'd like him to do, I'll try.
Okay. I'll roll again to see if he shows up.
Just So outside of the tower, how many floors are there to this building?
1.
Okay.
So it's a single story, but the tower consists of 2 layers, I want to say. Just going to double check my document. Yeah. So, sorry, 3 layers, because it's the ground floor, the first floor, and then the second floor for the tower. Or is the second floor the roof? Yeah, sorry, the roof is above that.
And we couldn't see any of what was inside the tower through a window or anything.
No, the tower in question has... It has windows, but from the angle you were coming at, there was no window to look through to get a clear angle. The roof of the tower otherwise has basic decorative crenellations and parapets to it. It's not fancy, it's just decorative.
Okay.
He smells the magic from the tower.
Otherwise, looking through the windows here, getting a general idea of what you're dealing with, a lot of the windows from where you would have seen from the outside into the interior and vice versa in this instance seems to be almost foggy. Like it's intended to block the visuals of whatever is outside but let light in. Kind of like frosted glass.
Is that like a physical effect or is it magical?
Looks to be a physical effect from what you can tell. If it is magical, then it's beyond basic detection, so it would be something higher level, but in this instance it looks to just be physical craftsmanship of the glass.
Okay. So, my thinking is to try and get. Well, we need to get Kay out of here since he's our best chance. Tower's probably a good way to do that. Do the windows, like, there's a window in here that we can actually see properly. Do they look like they open?
No.
Okay.
Looking at the
Okay.
windows that you have on the ground floor, I'll say if you want to just generally have a discussion, wander over and make an investigation check for further stuff, then you can.
Is this a window over here, above the fireplace?
Above the fireplace, yes. Yeah, because
Okay.
the fireplace doesn't need a flute because it is crystal, so it's just a hearth.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna make a show of getting right close to the fire and like warming my hands while keeping an eye on the window.
Okay. Putting your hands forward, that is giving off heat. Not enough by any means to cause any real problems, but that it's the first real time that you felt like a warmth from this place. A lot of the area around here is cold, presumably because of the smothering crystals. And as you otherwise kind of put your hands forward, it does feel warm, or there is at the very least the illusion of warmth, which is rather bizarre to you. You're going to take a look at the window, you said?
Yes.
Go ahead and make me an investigation check.
Uh, 14.
Okay. Looking at it and just kind of giving a general cursory eye, there does seem to be a latch attached to it on what looks to be the top portion of the window. Where it is split into 6 panels. The top 2 panels both have latches on them that would presumably open outwards. So small lights, as it, or no, I can't remember what they're called now. Small openings in the window, either way, that you'd push open. You do know that they are closed, but they also are currently locked as well. The key is still attached to it, though.
Okay. Right, and then to try and test the other thing I'd like to know about the situation, which is how distractible the guard is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to look over at him and try and like catch his eye.
Okay.
You don't mind, do you? Gesture into the fire. Fire, air quotes.
not at all. You enjoy the fire while it lasts. I mean, once the master of the house is done, I assume you'll be heading off. I mean, it's unlikely he'll keep you as guests.
Unfortunate, but understandable. He is a businessman after all.
Hmm.
Yes, I'll make the most of the hospitality while I can. It's a rare experience in this city.
Indeed, the crystals that they use here for the convenience of it are more tempered towards heat, but not enough to set anything ablaze. He seems to be talking, but he's not taking his eye off, and you are noting that his eyes are darting back towards the rest of your party as this is going on.
Mm-hmm. Reasonable. Yeah, well, it's nice. The lack of any fire in this city. Obviously, there's good reason for it, but well, especially for someone like me. I mean, look at what the experience has done to my poor companion. Gesturing over to Kirv.
I'm really sorry. 1 minute, I've been called.
That's fine.
Apologies, bad timing.
Well, I would just say get them to one of the physicians or to the abbots below Zakers. I know they do charitable work, and provided you can either trade or otherwise show productivity, they're usually quite welcoming of anybody who is in need of attention or medicine. So I'd imagine that if you needed anything, just go and ask them. Or if you're looking for private physicians, there are some above ground. As that happens, there is a light knock on the door from behind the guard, and the guard steps in and away as the door is opened, and through comes what looks to be another guard. Actually, let's do this instead, sorry. Through comes another guard, and the gnomish individual, who would be the manor of the house, who I do not have a tile for, so we are going to use generic human A for this. And name it Polite.
Generic human A, my arch nemesis. Magic missile. I'm joking.
You want to try it?
No.
The guard steps to one side, and actually this should be smaller because he's a gnome. As he otherwise wanders in, it's about the right size, isn't it? Yeah, it is. As he otherwise wanders in, you can see he has quite a bit of a bulbous nose, kind of squishier features to him, an attempted beard, which isn't going too well. Pair of spectacles. Looking, for a gnome, he's not looking too old by any means. Probably the equivalent of early 30s for human years. But as far as concerns for him, he's looking like he's seen better days, given who he might be. But he does wear an air of richness about him and vanity, with what looks to be a upstanding suit, kind of a light tails behind it, cufflinks with otherwise held close with what looks to be kind of a gold enamel of some form, cufflinks, and a cravat that otherwise sits around his neck as he otherwise wanders in. You must be the tradespeople I heard about. Please, introduce yourselves. The guard otherwise stands back in front of the door, and now there are two in this room. This one walks up here and blocks off this entrance / exit.
Kirv stands up. Good evening. I am Kirvette. I hope we haven't disturbed you.
You had disturbed my meal, but I believe, well, my guards told me there was some interesting folk looking to sell something, and I'm always the first wanting a buyer for this particular thing. Are you planning to put this up for auction anytime soon, or is this just a private sale?
Well, we do already have an interested buyer. However, my sources told me that you might be interested in this particular item.
Please do go on. He otherwise wanders around, this particular section. The guards are keeping a very close eye, and he has no real sense of danger, and he's quite small within his own home. You imagine that if he sat in one of these seats, he'd be like a kid, almost, in one of these chairs. They are built for larger individuals, larger than him anyway. I'm going to say go ahead and roll me a general deception check. I will say you have piqued his interest, so you'll make a flat roll instead of with disadvantage. I'll say this will be a deception check in this instance.
8.
Natural 1. 8 with the -5 takes that to 3.
Yikes.
And a natural 1 isn't
Sorry,
necessarily
guys.
a fail, depends on what he gets. I will say I am an experienced buyer and purveyor of goods, so I would expect you to only offer your standard price, of course. But I am still interested. Please, do show me what you have for sale.
I nod to Romulus to take out the bracelet.
Okay.
And place it gently on the table.
Okay. Romulus does so, kind of reaching into his pocket and placing the bracelet on the table.
I'm going to wander around here as this is happening.
Okay. As you do that, I will say that the guards do get closer, almost encircling the group a bit more, but in this instance it's more of a careful thing. They're just kind of making sure to keep a close aid to their buyer, should we say.
Now, this
Okay.
is a very exquisite item, I must say. I'm rather sad to let it go, to be honest.
Tell me about it. What is there that is good quality for this? He picks it up and pulls out a tiny inspection glass. He's going to do a check on his own for this first, and then you may tell me what it would be like.
Okay. As this is happening, I'm going to try and catch Romulus's eye and attempt to give him a look that's like, if you have any ideas, now would be a good time.
Ideas.
I'm going to roll an intelligence check for Romulus.
Oh, come on.
9. He picks up what you're putting down, and he kind of looks down at the bracelet and looks at Polite and goes, "It's fine craftsmanship, good wood." He just doesn't know what else to say. Yes, I can see that. Please do go on. What is the origin of this? Sell it to me, if you will.
Of course, I mean, it practically sells itself. But what is so fascinating about this piece is that it comes from another plane with materials that can only be attained from below, shall I say.
Go on.
Well, you see, right here, and I sort of pose towards the bracelet, specifically at the piece that was once the armor piece.
Mm-hmm.
I say, this is a very fine metal by one of the greatest craftsmen in the plane. Its strength and its beauty are outstanding.
Go ahead and roll me your choice of persuasion or deception.
I'm going to go for persuasion on that one.
And this will be a flat roll, as it is technically the truth in this instance, so it is
Thank you.
going to be counteracted by that.
12 plus 7. 19.
19. Okay. Polly otherwise looks at it and goes, I can see that, yes. The origin of the wood and the metal feather are otherwise differing. The wood seems to be that of native to this plane. Something more basic and simple. Something for maybe a little bit further south. Meanwhile, the metal itself, as you say, is indeed from another plane. It has the magical infusions as such, is muddled with the infusions of that of this plane. An infusion of earth, it would seem. The craftsmanship is good, the enchanting is poor, however. It is otherwise a mixture of minor and major elements, and it doesn't seem to have a baseline effect, shall we say. As much as it may be a nice decorative piece, it doesn't serve anything more than that. And the craftsmanship and the designs of these two differing materials doesn't quite ring true with your story, I'm afraid.
Well, I'm interested in your opinion here. What is there more than just to look at? I'd like to know your thoughts on that. What do you look for in a piece?
Well, for one, I search more for things that are rarer, a higher craft and caliber. He puts the bracelet back on the coffee table. It's fine. It's got some nice decorative pieces to it, but it is, at the end of the day, just wood and metal. Maybe a bit of essence mixed in, but the essences clash with one another. They don't work in tandem to suit a purpose or a goal. I can't say it particularly is befitting of a collector such as myself. I'd say you would get no more than maybe 100, maybe 200 gold at auction at best. But it's not to my tastes. As much as it is a fanciful object, it doesn't quite work for what I'd be interested in.
Okay, at this point, I'm going to give a slow clap. Masterfully done. You saw through the contradiction very quickly, sir. Yes, you are entirely correct. The origin, or should I say origins of this piece, clash rather deliberately. It's a product of its more precise origin, a coming together, a union of two foreign parties. If you understand my meaning.
To a certain degree. Go ahead and roll me a deception check or persuasion check of your choice.
So have to be deception because it's going to be a completely barefaced lie.
Mm-hmm. Okay. In which case, the truth of this will make it a flat roll.
Not actually an advantage, so it should be one. I don't know why I selected both.
That's fine. It would be both if you were doing persuasion because of the nature of the object, but as you're trying to deceive, it is not with advantage. Total?
17.
17. I understand, and thank you very much, but buttering me up in this instant to try and get me to buy something I've already declared I won't is not going to work here, I'm afraid. Yes, I am very much aware that it is clashing designs, and maybe that is intentional, or maybe this is your way of salvaging your trip up here. But I'm sorry, I serve no further interest in this particular item. If you have something else for sale, then by all means, but as it currently stands, the design on this particular object is of very little relevance to me.
The collector's value is not of interest then? I mean, I would not dare to impugn upon your expertise as a collector. I only thought a commemoration of marriage would have some unique interest to a collector of fine art.
Go ahead and roll me a persuasion check. total?
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20, okay. That does beat it this time. Perhaps. I mean, it is only a cheap thing. For the sake and simpleness of its ownership, I will say that I'll purchase this particular piece off of you for, let's say, 250. Its construction and design is simple, its purposes are fairly rudimentary, and the nature of its construction is rather fabricated, but I'll accept your offer for 250. That is all I'll pay for this. As much as it is a nice piece, it'll serve no more than a paperweight for the time being, unless I find a further purpose for it.
Okay. Vinny will make a show of looking deep in thought. What are we thinking then?
Well, as much as I'd love to give this bracelet to someone up here and of your stature, please, but I'm afraid I already have an offer for 275. From a lord, actually.
Then I would recommend taking that offer up with them, if all you are interested is in coin.
They have a lot of knowledge in regards to artifacts and stuff.
Is this you saying you do, or is this you
Yeah,
asking?
no, he does. How far does your knowledge go?
I have collected many things, various rarities across my time.
I mean, do you appraise or do you look at things and can you find out about stuff? Is this something you can do? Is it a service you offer?
It isn't a service I offer, no. It is simply a matter of I have a keen eye for these things, and I can pick up on the various pieces that I need for my collections. My sets, if you will.
Do you have anything now? This, oh God, that's sort of, here's a distraction, hopefully thing. So, do you have anything that closely resembles or historically links to something like this? And I'll, like, present Sicania's head.
Okay. Can't say that I do. May I have a look?
You can, though the rest of her is still attached to me, so you can kind of look at her head.
Now, remind me, this is something that you had to have hidden due to your disguised self.
It was in my hand. I never actually hid Sicania.
You never actually hid Sicania.
No, I didn't.
Right. Because that's something that I had assumed you would have hidden, because Sicania is classed as a weapon.
Oh, is she? Oh, I guess she is technically,
Yeah.
Just assumed that because she was unconscious, she wouldn't.
No, in this instance she counts
Well-
as a weapon because she's effectively a pointed object. Even though she's attached to a chain, she's still a heavy pointed object.
Fair. Well, I kind of committed now, haven't I?
I mean, if you want to, we can say, don't worry, because you haven't gained the information if you want to take that back, given that that was something that I assumed but did not communicate.
Okay. Oh. Yeah, okay, I'll take that back.
Okay. Yeah. That was on me for not communicating that correctly, but yes. I'll take that back. So.
Okay.
If that is everything then, that will conclude our business, unless you have any further things you wish to discuss and or mention.
Would it be possible to use your powder room?
By all means. He gestures to the doorway up here.
I turn to Romulus and I say, long journey ahead of us. It might be useful for you.
Okay. Excuse me.
A show of backing up and leaning against the wine rack.
Okay. He's going to go into the bathroom. Yeah, Romulus totally would. So he's just going to start going to the loo and relieving himself. Kay, what would you like to do?
Get off of him immediately as he tries to start doing this, because I am not hanging out for that.
The door is closed currently, so you are not, as he's doing this just as a general show, just for the sake of it.
I'm going to be looking around and seeing what can I see in here. Is there anything in here besides it just being a closed off room?
There is a towel, a toilet, a sink, and rolls of toilet paper. That is about it. Notably, as there isn't water at the bottom of this, so it isn't making that much noise as it's hitting the convenience crystal and just disappearing.
This was a waste, and now I'm stuck in here with a Minotaur using the bathroom. No, I don't like this.
Amazing.
Well, they only saw one person go in there. So when one person comes out, there's nothing out of the ordinary.
I'm not staying in here by myself. It's not happening.
Well, this might be our only opportunity to, do anything with you.
Depends what you want to do. Romulus will leave when ready. It's your call in this instance, Kay, because Romulus isn't here. The rest of the party can't really converse with you to what the plan would be.
How many rolls of toilet paper are in here?
2.
2.
I thought they were rich.
It was a toilet roll.
Just because they're rich does not mean that they're savages who will buy 12 32 packs for the sake of, oh, I'm rich.
Yeah, the fact that they're rich is the only reason they have toilet paper at all. Everyone else just wipes with the convenience crystal.
just takes it out. It's like, yeah, that'll do. I can't reach.
No, it's just like it's just like Romans, like public sponges, and then you just put it back in the holster and it cleans itself. So it's just like a wet sponge whenever you need it.
But it doesn't, does it?
It does.
It doesn't.
You'll know, but there won't be
What?
anything on there.
I'll know. What does that mean?
You'll know that people have used it before
Alright.
you, but then you won't. But then
Oh.
it will be clean, completely
I thought you
clean.
meant me personally.
No,
How dare you?
no, not
Ah,
you personally.
Alright. I wonder how they would act if the toilet was accidentally broken.
Oh my word.
I realised they've overloaded the loo.
It's a convenience crystal. You can't overload it. It has no drain.
No, it's
Right,
not
time-
overloading. It's overweighting.
Time to face. What's the threshold of a toilet crystal? Asking all the real questions.
The only thing I can think of is I will try to have a couple rats hide amongst the toilet paper
Mm-hmm.
and just give them the instructions of when everyone goes to sleep. Not not basically everyone, but like mostly when this main man goes to sleep, to explore.
Okay.
Explore and find the thing.
Okay.
And if they find it, come out. If they can't find it, keep looking.
Do you have any charges that you can expend to speak rat?
Yes.
Okay.
Core. Yes, I still have both my charges for today.
And you have the ability to speak rat permanently, correct? It's just one of
Yes.
those that you have to just activate.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
it's the one that I got for eating the Rat King.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. So in this
Dead.
instance, So in this instance, yeah, you convey this to your rats. How many did you leave behind?
Just looking around this bathroom, how many do I think I can hide in here?
If nobody comes looking, you could fit your whole swarm. If people go looking, then probably like maybe 1, 2, or 3 at most, depending on where you want to hide them.
I don't want it to be too obvious, and I don't really want the rats to be discovered, and I think having too many would kind of mess that up, so I'll leave like 3 of them if I'm confident that I can leave 3.
Okay.
If not, then I'll just leave 2.
I'll say you leave 2 then, because it'll be less suspicious if there's only 2 rats.
Okay.
Okay. So you leave 2 rats, hop on back onto Romulus, and Romulus heads back through.
How long have we been here for? Like, since we went up?
You reached the edge of the estate at about 6, and it had been about a 5-minute walk at most to the house. You've been here waiting for maybe 10 minutes. This conversation's taken about 15, so it's about 5:30 at the moment.
Okay, because, like, my spell lasts for an hour.
So you got about half of it left.
Okay, cool.
Why did you know? Because you've just been a little bit up the ramp. So you got about 20 minutes of it left.
Okay. Noted.
So you got another 10 minutes before you need to start panicking because you won't be able to reach the exterior prior to then.
Right. Good to know. Okay. Right. Well. This is. Okay. So. Well, that was all we had.
Well, if that's business concluded, we appreciate your time greatly. I go to shake his hand.
He looks at your air of physique and the fact that you look rather ill. I'm going to make a roll for him. Yes, quite. Now, if you do please, I do have evening events to complete, so if you would please follow my guard out, and the guard is going to just nod and open the door. Come on then. And Vinny, you were leaning up against there. Were you doing anything, or just...
Can I attempt to make it look like I'm trying to steal something?
Go and roll me a performance check.
But you could just steal something.
Like having... Yeah, I don't want the guards to actually try and grab us.
Oh.
Like having tried to get an idea of how attentive these people are, make it look like I might be trying to pocket something.
Purposefully
Or
being
someone else.
suspicious for the sake of it, rather than actually being suspicious.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I've done that before. Good. And yes, I have done that before. It's great walking into work in a hoodie, being all suspicious and watching them kind of panic as they're like, oh, someone suspicious has gone down there. And then you turn around and you're like, hi. And they all just unpanic. It's fun.
Noted.
I'm the worst. I work there. It's fine. So, total?
Could have been something, but it was a 10.
Okay. You kind of lay off the whole, oh, I'm leaning up against this. This is suspicious, kind of like just kind of looking through the wines and just having a little bit of a look through. The guard who is standing next to you, the one who was who originally was escorting you in, Kind of looks at you and just goes, "Right, well, we're done here, so if you'd like to follow me, and I will lead you back to the main gate and send you on your way from here, if you please." Kind of gestures for you to go first, keeping very much an eye on you.
Okay.
Please, otherwise,
So I'll move round.
he steps over to the
Start
chair.
here, point up here towards the, we presume, kitchen.
Mhm.
This way?
Down this way, please, and points down here.
Okay.
I just wanted to see if there was a way that Kay could possibly get to a position on Romulus while he's still sitting down and kind of covered, to be able to see if I could be able to see any of the surroundings for when we get outside, and see if there's any good chance for me to be able to kind of like slip off Romulus and hide in a bush or something.
Okay, this will be once you get to the outside door. Okay, so I'll allow a perception check once we get to the outside door. It will be a disadvantage. If you wish to try and undo the disadvantage, you will have to make a stealth check now. And this will be versus the passive perception of everybody. These are house guard as opposed to your regular guard, so they seem to be more attentive. That's about as much as you'd know.
I think it's the only real chance that we have.
Okay.
And if anything, can just play it off like I was sleeping.
Okay. Go ahead and make me a stealth check, please. This is a flat roll.
Oh, come on.
2 plus
That's a 9 total.
9 total. Okay. As you're otherwise there, you kind of shimmy around, you slide and hit the, otherwise hitting the sofa. As I'm going to say, actually no, in this instance, I would say Romulus would use his reaction to try and catch you using Danger Sense, because I know that Harlan would try. Because he would. So I'm going to see if he can keep you in position and help undo your failed stealth check. Okay, with Danger Sense and a natural 20, he feels you trying to move around and kind of squeezes his arm in a way that you are squished in place. You'll still have disadvantage on the perception check, but you are also not discovered. That's what Romulus would do.
Yes, it would. What is?
Okay. So, Vinny, you are led outside along with the rest of your friends. Plee otherwise takes a seat here. The house guard otherwise looking at you all as you exit. Okay. No contesting at all?
No, I don't have any. No.
Okay. You note...
I don't really understand enough to...
Okay. You note the following, that as you are leaving, the guards in question have shimmied around a bit. This guard has taken up position here, but the guard that was beyond originally, a different guard, seems to be the one that was following Polite around, suggesting that over here seems to be the dining room.
Okay.
As you are guided down, the doors are opened, and
Tower's got to be where it is, surely.
And the guard at the back otherwise gestures forward. Please, follow this way. We will lead out to the street, and then I will lead you back to the gate.
Oh, all the way? There's really no trouble.
We can't have people wandering these streets untended. Okay.
Oh, a legal thing.
Of course. Kay, go ahead and roll me a perception check with
Unfortunate.
disadvantage. Okay.
That's
15.
actually pretty good. Perception. That is a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. In this instance, as you're otherwise leaving the house, you see that there is you look at the general surroundings, taking them in and what you remember from the exterior when you were here. The exterior of this place is covered in almost this thicker vegetation that seems to be from somewhere more exotic. Colourful plants, bright blues, purples and greens, like they're not from around here, it would seem. Imported and brought in as an exotic measure. You do note that there is that around the exterior of this place is what looks to be a relatively high spiked iron fence that runs around the perimeter. But as you get just inside the gates, there are two very small railings which you could quite easily slip over from Romulus's position or under into one of the hedges, potentially allowing for a stealthier advantage. If you were to do this, however, this would separate you from the party and potentially make it more difficult for you to escape. The iron bar fences go up about a good 4 or 5 feet, so if you wanted to climb over one, it would be quite difficult to do so.
It's the only thing that I can think of, considering it's being moved.
Well,
You still have another 5 hours after this to come up with another plan or try something else if you want to. That was the reason you tried doing this so early.
As we're going out the door, I'm gonna stumble a little bit. These open inwards, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna stumble a little bit and try and deposit Jeff in one of these bushes.
Make me a sleight of hand check, please. And remember, you still have a
And
point of
I'm-
exhaustion, so this will be a disadvantage.
Yeah, I'm fully committed to this as well. I don't mind taking a graze to the knee.
Okay. I'll say in that instance, make me a flat roll then, if you're willing to take damage in order to push this over the edge.
9 sleight of hand. That's a 3, so it takes it to a 12.
Takes it to a 12. I would like you to choose the following. You only get to choose this once. How many d4s of damage do you want to take to add a bonus to your roll? You will get +1 per d4 that you wish to take. You're currently at 12, and you do not know the passive perception.
Let's take it to 16. So I'll take the 4.
So 4d4 damage. Okay, go ahead and take 4d4 damage. Okay.
Of course.
You take 13 points of damage as you otherwise stumble onto your knee, kind of falling to your side. As you do so, Jeff quickly and deftly slides into the bush. He seems to be hidden, without orders.
Yeah, but telepathically I can communicate. So that's
So long as you're within 100
fine.
feet, yes.
Yeah. So as we're heading out, it's going to be sort of try and stay. How far? What's the distance between the house and the gate? Because obviously we've travelled it.
It's about 5 minutes, so I'd say it's a good... Given the distance, I'd probably say 500 to 1,000 feet.
Okay. Right. So as we're heading, well, I'll have orders and they'll be relayed before we get out of proximity.
What
The
I'm
guard will help you up as you do. You were badly grazed as this happens.
Because I don't necessarily need to speak rat to give them simple orders. I am going to attempt to get out and hide in the lower part that I saw with the bushes.
Okay.
But I am going to leave one rat in Romulus's clothes with the simple orders of when they when the rest of them call for me, the rat pops out to let them know that I'm not there.
Okay. That should be fine. Go ahead and make me a stealth check, please. I will say...
Can I make an argument to have advantage with the fact that Cat fell?
I will say that cat falling plus the guards helping plus Romulus's big body in this instance I will say it won't give you advantage. I'll say it will give you a +5, as if you're getting 3/4 cover.
+5.
Yeah, in addition to your usual plus. So
Alright, so that's a 60 with +5. That's a 23.
23. Easily enough, you slip off of Romulus and into the gardens next to it, where you see a Jeff currently curled up in a ball, having been tossed out. You do note that as you look at Jeff, the back portion of Jeff is black, where usually it would be a white and colourful crystal.
I'm just going to take Bald Jeff and kind of like aim him in a way where his reflective coloring won't come out of the bush.
Okay, so you're going to aid Jeff in his stealth check. I'll say he'll piggyback off of yours for the time being.
Okay.
Okay. Given the stealth check, none of the rest of you are aware of this going on currently. So you have Jeff currently. Okay. Anything the rest of you would like to do before you move on?
Right.
I know what Kirv wants to do, but she can't do it.
Okay.
What does she want to do? Out of interest?
Oh, she wants to spit on all the guards, but like. But she wouldn't intentionally fuck up everyone that bad.
Okay.
Right, are we all
Today.
ready to
least.
get a movement then? Romulus, you managed to relieve yourself, right?
Yes, plenty. Those toilets are weird. But certainly a unique design.
You guys have weird toilets? Looking over at the guard.
If you mean that they use convenience crystals, then yes, I suppose so.
Got a convenience crystal for everything, don't they?
That's kind of the
Yes,
point.
no.
That's why they're convenience crystals. They do away with expending other resources, and they're grown here in Zakers.
She really wants to spit on him. No.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get you back to the gate and send you off. It has
As
been a
we're
nice
heading-
talk, but still.
And as we're heading the orders to Jeff, because I'm assuming if Jeff is manoeuvring, being manoeuvred around by Sudz, then
Mhm.
okay, then Jeff is aware. So his orders are to follow Kay, follow his orders. If Kay gets put into danger, head to the gate and do not leave that gate until either me or one of the members of the party come and collect him or give him following orders. There you go. There's pretty strict rules.
Okay, good to know. As you leave the range, you head off back towards the gate with the guard. Kay! I think we need,
Yes.
I think we need sneakier music for this.
Snicker.
So, the light is currently going down. It is dusk. In high summer, this is true. But it is beginning to get dusk. The clouds are fairly thick in the sky. The reds, orange, and pinky hues are beginning to set in as a blanket and lack of colour is beginning to spread across this particular section of the city. How long do you wait before doing anything?
I am going to wait until it is sufficiently dark enough for my clothing to actually I'm actually going to wait until it's usually around the time that others would go to sleep.
Okay. Because you otherwise wait that time. There's a little while before you hear one of the guards come back, and as they otherwise return, you hear the two of them beginning to converse from your current location. Well, that was certainly a strange occurrence, wouldn't you say? It's not usual that the boss usually lets people in, but you know, the boss is how he is. He sometimes likes to make sure he gets the private stuff. I mean, that's what he did with the last buyer. I suppose you're right on that one. Well, anyway, shift change should be another hour or so, and then I'm going home. It's been a day. It's been a weird day. A pleasant one, but a weird day. Nothing eventful as usual, which I'm quite happy about. Looking forward to going home too. But it's getting dark. Hopefully I should be back in time for the festival tonight, at least. Ah, you going out with your missus? That's the plan, yes. Going out dancing. Going to one of the cloud windows. Going to be joining in with the festivities there. Hopefully things will be going well. I heard that the musicians were having a bit of difficulty on the third day of the whole event, but you know, things are going better this time round. This year, the dancing's certainly helping, and the conversation goes back and forth.
I actually, just to make sure I don't have any surprises or whatnot, just to make sure they don't have any like secret security, I would like to let one rat run out and get spotted by them before hiding again.
Okay. Where would you like the rat to generally head?
I'd like it to head. Well, this is where they are, right?
Yep.
Guard.
Yeah, they're currently
Alright.
standing in front of the door looking outwards towards the street. You can see patrols going back and forth. You can see that they're there. And they've got crystal lanterns hanging at their sides as well.
I want it to come out like around here.
Mm-hmm.
And when it looks over and sees them, I want it to head off in this direction. So down to here and then off in this direction.
Okay. Go ahead and make me a stealth check for your rat, please. This will just be to see how quickly it gets spotted. I know it's in doing this intentionally, just to see how long it takes. Okay. As you send off one of your rats and it immediately begins to move, the guard immediately looks over and just goes... just immediately kind of turns and gets a look at it and just goes, "Just a rat. You don't need to be so jumpy. I know it's near the end of your shift and you're tired, but you don't need to worry about it. Look, we don't get rats up here that often. I mean, it's not great. Your rat runs off through the grating and runs off the street. Well, it'll get picked up by one of the birds around here. I thought they picked this place clean, but I guess we're gonna have to inform the boss that there could be rats around again."
Okay, so it's not that big of a deal. Okay.
The guard kind of looks at him and goes, "I ain't mentioning it tonight, otherwise he's going to want to talk to me for about half an hour to explain the whole deal of needing to hire exterminators, and I ain't doing that off the clock. You can tell him, but I ain't. I got places to be." Fine, fine. I'll inform the captain, and I'll let him handle letting the boss know. We'll go from there. About another hour passes or so. One of the other the door opens behind them and goes, and they go, "Finally, shift change. What would you like to do? Anything?"
While they are...
Just gonna do a roll for each of them real quick. You don't need to worry. Number 2. Okay.
Is this all covered in...
There's thicker grass down here, so you could potentially crawl, but you could also get spotted. But the larger bits of scenery are larger bits of scenery.
I should still be earshot here. What my plan is I'm just going to sh- gently shimmy over here as to not make too much noise, and look for an opportunity when they're about to these two are about to walk in, because I assume these two will walk in and then the others will walk out.
Mm-hmm.
My plan is as they walk in the time when there's nobody out here, I am going to move over to here.
Okay. I will say go ahead and make me a stealth check with advantage.
Uh, 15.
15. Okay. You, as they step inside, you shift past and into here, and one of them kind of looks back out and just looks out and goes, "Do you see something?" "I thought I heard movement. It's probably just another damn rat. Just leave it be." You hear a voice from inside go, "There have been rats spotted outside." "Yeah, well, he spotted another one as we were about an hour ago. Just going to let you know about all this." And the guard comes back inside. Okay. You're in the clear for the moment, and there seems to be a light conversation as a set of 2 different guards come outside. I'm going to remove these ones because they're going to go home. Well, a few of the others will as well, but I can't bother to change that many tiles. Tiles.
Still to stay.
Okay. As it currently stands, this window is higher up than the rest, so you can't currently see in, but it is letting out a little bit of light, but you are noting that the others are letting out less light, suggesting that curtains are being drawn currently, given you waited, I'd say, about till 8:30. Given this is the case, party, is there anything you wanted to do in the interim? Because it has been about 2 hours since you last spoke to Kay.
How close can we get to the building we were at from the outside of the fence?
Do you mean like outside of the district area?
Is there like a fence that goes round
So
everything in this area?
the entire district is elevated on top of basically a tabletop, and that's got a rim around the outside to stop people falling off. But the only way to get to it is a ramp, which you are otherwise escorted to the gate and then told to go down the ramp or you'll get in trouble. So the closest you can get,
right.
the closest you can get with a line of sight would be 1,000 feet when you're at the gate. If you wanted to ignore line of sight, then you could get underneath of it via the skywalk area, but you would be about 200 feet off because it goes up vertically quite a ways.
Okay, I understand.
I'd probably say more like 100 feet or so. But because you wouldn't have line of sight, I'd say it'd be very difficult to communicate or use any spells that require a targeted effect. Even telepathically trying to speak to Jeff.
Was there anything specific underneath the raised area?
No, it's just smooth, and there seem to be a number of hanging lanterns from place to place, just kind of acting as a way to add an air of light to the area where there would be a lack of sun.
Right. But it wouldn't be too suspicious to be going into that area.
No, going underneath, it would be out of the way of line of sight of anything above, so you wouldn't have any of like the aerial craft coming over and noticing you. But it is heavily patrolled, so if there's anything you want to do, it would be very suspicious, depending on what you're trying to do. And if you're loitering there for quite a while, for hours on end, you will be told to move along. So what would you like to try and do during those 2 hours before Kay gets started on the main meat of his mission here?
Well, do we want to try and find another way in?
Probably would be an idea. Yeah. I mean, can't expect him to do it all himself. Don't know how we'd do it, but
No. The problem is the guards at the house have seen our faces now. Or at least some of them have. We don't know that much about the guard change. So if we can't come back in, like, Groucho Marx disguises, or Abbott costumes, as the case would more likely be, we don't really know how easy it'll be to get away with that. But yeah, the Abbots are one group of people who have access. There's I don't know if it's like a guild, but like the Brackstone Builders are the people who build all the mansions.
Brackstone builders build everything. This is what you come to understand.
So they should, in theory, have access to the district at least.
Okay.
There's a chance that they would be... There's a chance that they would still need to be escorted. They probably couldn't just roll up in a uniform and just get free reign of the area.
No. I mean, I can get up there.
Yeah?
I have gaseous form, so I can turn myself into a gas and get up there. But that's only me, which could be a challenge.
Could be a challenge for getting out as well. I'm sure we can come up with something.
But it is something that can happen. I'm trying to see if how the spell works. How many people accept? Stop giving me all this information. How do you do this stuff? Where's the research? I suck as an adult. How is it? Third. Gaseous form. A willing creature you touch. Unless if you I mean, how sneaky are you?
Decently. I mean, I have a +5. If that's pure stealth. There are disguises that would potentially work.
I'm aware that. Oh, I don't know if you know. Kay's there at the moment.
I'd say Romulus has let everybody know that after having a conversation that there is a rat that says squeaked at him and he has translated it to Kay isn't here.
Okay. Yeah, Kay's
Presumably
there with.
Kay isn't here.
Yeah. No, Kay's there with Jeff last time I saw. They're both hiding in the bush.
Yeah, if we'd had the time doing more research on the builders, would have been a good play. But they'd have probably wanted some form of documentation for that, which would have been difficult to rustle up in 24 hours. There's more than one gate, right?
There's two.
Into the district?
There's two, because this one's a bit more isolated on its own. There's one at your end, and then there's one that's further out on the other side, which would be about another 10-15 minute walk. Granted, you have a surplus of time, given Kay waited about 2 hours. But, yeah.
BRB, sorry.
That's all right.
Okay.
I mean, as a group, you can always just say you can leave it to Kay until you hear back from him, or you can take precautions. It's up to you.
I mean, if you want, I could cast spell on you, and you can go in and join Kay. So he's not on his own in case something happens. Or we could all try and just break in.
That's not going to work. They have
No.
over air security.
I've never done
Speaking
breaking in
of
stuff.
Which yeah, how prevalent are the like sky watchers?
During the day, fairly prevalent. Like, they maybe do a pass every 2 minutes or so.
Okay. It's getting dark now, right?
Mm-hmm. And as it does get darker, there are less of them out currently.
Less of them out, and they probably have less visibility.
You are noting that there are more guards around, though, and all of them are carrying lanterns, so they are illuminating the area quite thoroughly. The patrols on the ground get thicker, I'll say.
Yeah, that's fair. Remind me the details of what is it, gaseous form?
Yeah, I'm trying to look up now.
Basically, you turn to a gas, you can move 10 feet around, you can hover, you don't fall. You treat liquids as solids, and you can move through narrow holes. Something that it doesn't mention, but I think would be relevant to note, is that you are still affected by the wind. And you are currently very high in a gorge, which means that the wind is going to be funneled
Okay.
down, so you are going to disappear with the wind should you try and get up there with using gaseous form.
Right, well that's that then.
If you had a fly speed higher than probably, I'd say, 15 feet, then, or probably higher than 20 feet, I'd say then that's probable, but in the instance the fact that you're limited to 10 feet with gaseous form means that you'd probably just fly off. Because you're looking at like 20, 30 mile an hour winds, so it'd be very difficult to fight against.
Okay. I have a lot more questions. How expensive are spell scrolls?
How expensive are spell scrolls? Depends on what kind of spell scroll you're trying to get.
For a first level spell, for instance.
For a first level spell? I would need to look that up, but I want to say it's around 200 gold.
I was going to say I have 150 or 2.
And also it depends on availability as well, because if it's not available, then it's probably not going to be sold easily. Nope, I've gone too far. Oh, do I have a document for this? Can't remember. Okay, if I do have a document for this, I don't know where it would be currently. So let me quickly double check what the prices generally say in accordance with this. So, you'd be looking at a first level spell, so that would be a common or an uncommon? That would depend, that would make the difference. Sorry about this.
No worries. If you know off the top of your head, how high is the lip around
The lip?
the district? Yeah.
The lip around the edge is maybe only 3 feet tall. It's designed to stop people from to encourage them to know where the edge is, so they don't fall over the edge.
Okay.
It's not designed to stop people climbing up, because if you wanted to climb up, you'd have to go at least 100 feet in the air to do so.
I can climb up. Sorry, we're trying to climb up somewhere.
The current discussion, yeah, is potentially climbing up. So the spell scroll for the first level spell would be common. Given it is a consumable, it would be half price, so you'd probably be looking at about 50 to 75 gold at most. But that would take time, and you'd have to try and find it as well, depending on what you're looking for.
So I find what? I'm confused.
The spell scroll.
If we...
Oh, that's the spell scroll. For what?
That we yet.
If we needed an emergency way out,
Okay.
if the lip is able to be climbed over, a scroll of feather fall would be potentially a viable way to do it. But that doesn't solve the problem of getting in and getting the item.
Featherfall would cover you the full fall.
Yeah, it would.
Well, I
Guess
do have.
who's not got it equipped at the moment?
I do have spider form if it was needed.
Oh, why?
Oh, okay, never mind. Sorry.
No,
I mean,
two of us.
Well, we do have K already. Well, K and the rat's already in there.
Mhm.
Is this in case they're not going to be alright?
Well, we don't know. I mean, there are a fair few guards up there, but leaving him on his own, if he gets caught, I mean, we've got Jeff that's got orders, but I still need to get close to the gate to, if something happens, Jeff to find me, or me to even communicate with him. He's out of communication at the moment. He's too far away. I think the idea is trying to get someone in there to make sure that they can help. Or potentially all get in there.
Yeah, it's...
Romulus just tells us, I don't think I can help in this. I'm not quiet.
Mm.
Nor would we want you to be, mate.
If you want to go help Kay, I can wait down here, but I can't come with.
I fear I wouldn't be much of an asset since I'm poisoned and my stealth is a little to be desired.
Okay, sneaking in doesn't seem like it's going to work, then.
So should we just leave Kay to it and see what happens?
I mean, unless we want to try and blag our way in.
That worked very well for us last time.
I mean, we got through the door.
Well, I think if anyone's got this, I think, Kay's got this. That lad's fucking mental.
True. He just has no way of communicating what he needs or...
Yeah, and I need to be closer to be able to communicate.
How close do you need to be to Jeff?
100 foot. So I would probably have to be by the building.
You'd have to be about 40, 50 feet up or so in order to get closer.
40, 50 foot.
I'll say, while you all think about it, I will say, after the 2 hours have passed, so I'll say at this instance, you've been kind of thinking, coming up with plans, considering what you might be able to do. And we'll say during this time, if there's anything you would like to do, like going and buying materials and stuff, we can use that as a deductible time slot, which you can use as a whole, if there's any solutions you come up with that you might want to pick up stuff. But for now, we'll move back to Kay. At the end of those 2 hours, by the way, Kirv, your poison disappears, as it has been, as 3 hours have passed.
Woo! Thank you.
But, Kay, you're currently in a bush with a Jeff, currently bundled up inside of your clothing. What would you like to try and do?
First, Kay is
Xavier.
going to
Xavier. Either.
First, Kay is going to look at Jeff and ask him, if you are close to Kat, can you talk to her?
Jeff nods.
Good. Alright. First things first. Since this object we are looking to be able to get is supposed to be getting moved at midnight. I am going to select teams of 5 rats each,
Okay.
2 teams. One team is going to stay here and keep watch here
Okay.
with the direction of, if you see more people arrive, 2 rats come to me. If more guards show up, send 1 rat.
I'm gonna get some rat swarms for this. I'm just gonna leave them where you're putting them. Alright.
Look, I had time to think.
No, that's fair. This is a good chance to do this sort of stuff. So, we'll leave 1 rat swarm here where you currently are.
Yes. Now I am going to move around the edge.
Okay. I'll say make me a general stealth check. This will be with advantage because 1, it is nighttime, and 2, you know where the patrols are because they are carrying bright yellow lanterns with them.
Yeah, it should be pretty simple.
Yeah.
Aw.
Easy enough. You otherwise continue to otherwise scurry around the building. I'll say you have free reign of the outside of the building until you get to about here.
Because you can't necessarily uncover this. This bit right here is all wall, right?
No, it slants inwards slightly. So this corner here is non-existent. This little bit here. And then it curves inwards. There's also another dip about here as well.
Okay, I'm going to stick close to the walls
Okay.
of here, trying to make my way around here till I can see this door.
Okay, you can indeed. And you see, standing out back will look to be 2 guards.
Alright, I am going to be dropping off a second rat swarm here.
Okay.
With the same orders as this swarm.
Okay.
So they are just going to hang out in this bush and keep an eye on that door.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to see if I could most likely hear these guys better.
Okay.
So just for now, as I'm not sure what this is, and I'm not trying to... just going around the outside of this, do I see any windows in this tower thing?
Yes, I was about to say there would be 2 windows you could see. 1 here and 1 here. I will mark those with, let's go with red markers. Let's put 1 here and 1 here.
Alright, I will head over to this window since it's
Okay.
not where these guards can see.
Okay.
And I'd like to see if I can get in a general spot to where I can possibly see inside, or if this window is closed with shutters or anything.
Okay, make me a perception check. This will be with disadvantage due to the nature of the fogginess of the windows.
That is a 11.
11. Looking in the window, you get a general look and feel for the interior, seeing blurs and objects which you can vaguely guess what's what. You can see what looks to be the interior is illuminated, what looks to be large brown objects, which you assume to either be tables or desks, what look to be a few chairs, and that's about it. From this angle, there's not much you can see from this window that otherwise catches more attention. There is an immediate light source to your left and your right, along with what looks to be a staircase leading upwards, going this way. and up the tower.
Okay.
I'll also say from this angle, you can also see what looks to be another window about be about 9-10 feet up above from where you currently are. And I'll say you also saw another one on the same side as this one, which is a larger one, which is higher than that.
Okay. I'd like to, because I'm animal-like.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to put my ear against the window.
Mm-hmm.
And see if I can necessarily hear anybody inside.
Make me a perception check. Again, this will be a disadvantage because this is a difficult hearing situation, but I'll allow it.
If anything's gonna tell me it's the window. Nope.
In this instance, you can't hear much sound from the interior. There isn't much sound at all out here outside of the occasional movement of people in armor and stuff, and the patrols going by. There isn't much audio that you can pick up, I'm afraid. That either means the room is empty or something's going on inside which is quiet enough that you can't tell.
Okay. I'm guessing... I don't think messing with the window too much is gonna be a good idea, as this individual seems to have quite a bit of security. So messing with the window might not be too good.
Out of Kirv, Cat, and Vinny, please go ahead and roll me a d20. I'll let one of you decide who you would like to roll.
I will do it.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
8.
Carry on.
Yeah, I'm not gonna mess with the windows too much. I am going to... I'm going to go back to this swarm.
Okay.
And I'm going to see if I can get a listen to these guys if they're having a conversation. What time would it be right now?
It is currently, I'll say make me a survival check, because then it will be difficult to tell and you don't have a time-telling device on your person.
Survival, that is that one. Okay. Oh, come on. 8.
8. Looking at where the moons are now, it's difficult to tell. It's late in the evening and people have gone to sleep. From what you can tell, and given what time you waited until people would roughly go to bed, you waited about 2-3 hours from what you could guess. Meaning it's somewhere between 8 and 9, most likely. PM.
Okay.
And given it's late summer, or given that it's around midsummer, the sun has dipped now where it's gotten dusk and the night has begun to set in.
Okay, so the guards might, considering they still have time before anything really kicks off for them, I'm guessing they're gonna be a bit laid back on trying to look too presentable, considering it's not likely that other people will be around.
Go ahead and roll me an insight check, I'll say. I'll say this is just going to be a matter of the exact details you learn. You'll still learn some stuff off of this regardless of the role. Just on general appearance and stuff, but yeah. Okay.
Insight. That is a 24.
One of them is definitely laid back, much more relaxed than the other one, kind of leaning up, keeping their post as much as they can, but not being very wary. They look quite tired. They've come onto this shift looking a little bit haggard. They've potentially been out enjoying the festivities before they got here. So they look like they've seen better days, potentially been drinking prior to the job. The other one, on the other hand, looks more attentive, seemingly making up for for their friend's lack of attentiveness to this scenario. But you pick up that they aren't being wary. They aren't keeping an eye on time. I'll say with your cursory glance, they don't seem to be expecting anything. Like
there's not supposed to
Like,
be anybody coming.
there's not supposed to be anybody coming, no.
Huh. If nobody's coming...
Kirv, please go ahead and roll me a d20, please.
Sure.
One. Thank you.
Ah, no, thank you.
What are the odds? How tall is this building?
The building itself, at its full height, I'd say will be about, including the tower top itself, built for a human, quite tall. Each floor will be about 9-10 feet, so about 30 feet tall at its full height. If you were just including the first floor and you were ignoring the rest of it, then probably about 14 feet tall, including the roof.
Okay. And how tall was the fence again?
About 5 feet tallish, enough that you could, if a person wanted to hop over it, they would catch themselves quite happily on the spikes on the top, which I'll say at a cursory glance you pick up are sharpened with the intent to slice somebody if they try and run or get in. For someone more nimble like you, it might be easier, but it's still going to be a potential check.
Yeah. I'd probably have to make sure I hold on to my cloak or something, otherwise it might get caught up on it.
In regards to a conversation, they don't seem to be talking all that much. You can tell, I'll say with the insight check, that the one who's being more attentive is mad at the other one. So they aren't talking. If they had a conversation, then it's been and done and you haven't heard it. But from what you can tell, they don't seem to be getting along today.
Have I noticed of either of my two rats having been killed on the inside?
Because you dropped the level in Collector, didn't you? So at the moment they're basically just rat friends for you.
I have not dropped it yet, because I kept it for this.
Oh, okay, because you drop it when you get to the higher level. Sorry. So in this instance, I would say, go ahead and roll me 3d20s for me. And I'll say this is going to be the general what happens with the rats.
I'm borrowing this one.
Okay. As you're otherwise kind of picking up on what's happening with the rats, although you have some form of telecommunication to them, you pick up that the rats go exploring, they get lost, they get spotted, and they hide. That's all you pick up. There are seemingly places that they can hide and places that they can run away from, but there aren't like dedicated holes or burrows that they can go into. So right now they are just avoiding contact, but you get the general understanding that there were people in this room later than you thought, and then they disappeared off. Note that you haven't noticed anybody enter the building, only people leaving.
That's actually something I could probably do. No.
Okay. While you think about what goes next, I will go back to the other team and see if they have anything they wish to do. So, other team, have you got any plans?
I'll be right back.
Okay.
I got.
Sorry, go on.
No, I got nothing really. Whatever anyone else has got, go for it.
So, if we want to try and get in, the only way that I know of that might work is go find where the abbots are, steal some uniforms, steal a crystal that does nothing, run up to the other gate and be like, hey, we think one of the nobles might have a dodgy crystal. They're going to be having some toilet problems soon. Can we please get in and fix it before it causes them embarrassment?
Okay.
And use
This
that
is-
to like sneak in.
This
That's-
is probably something you two are going to have to do, as I don't imagine they have many Centaur or Minotaur abbot costumes.
I am Corvino.
Probably not. We've
Oh.
as with the whole builder thing, with a couple days to prepare, we could have come up with something
Mm-hmm.
more robust. But if we want just another roll of the dice, it might give us something to work with.
Fair. I mean, I can get up there. Apparently so can Kirv, but that's scaling walls and stuff. Unless you
Are
want to
there-
piggyback.
Are there walls to climb up? I thought there were.
No, for the most part, it's just because it's a tabletop and you're underneath the table. You have to go up one of the central pillars, and then go upside down as you make your way to the edge. But the upside down portion of it has hanging lanterns that illuminate it vaguely, so it's possible that you'll get spotted. But at the same time, you've also got the lip around the edge, which is only a minor climb, but it's not going to provide any cover if you wish to look over the edge.
So we can scale up. It'll be very difficult.
It would be very difficult.
Trying
You'd
to
need
do
to
it
stealth,
stealthily.
and it's quite possible you'll get spotted given that there are a heightened number of guards at night time.
Well, we have one party member that's really good at stealth, but he's already busy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got nothing otherwise. If
Okay.
you two can go and get Abbott's cost things and get in there, then by all means go for it and support. Otherwise, I got nothing.
Okay.
I mean, me, Jamie, maybe Cat. Is there anything that I could roll for to see if there was potentially something Cat might have noticed? As you know, I'm not as inept as her apparently. I'm more inept than her.
Roll an intelligence check with disadvantage because you're exhausted.
Yeah. Yeah, that's 17. No, 14. 14. Hang on. What's my intelligence? No. Why is my
Do you
14.
do you still have spider climb?
Well, it got promoted to spider form.
Okay.
And yeah, I've got that.
Okay, but you don't have spider climb.
I don't have spider climb because yeah, that went and got turned into spider form.
Okay. Yeah. In such a case, then there's not really much that you can do. Spider climb can be cast on other people. That's the only real thing that you can think of that might help. But in this instance, you don't know. How many
What's
spell points are you
the-
on currently?
Spell points, I'm not doing too bad. So I'm on 22 out of 29.
22 out of 29. Okay.
Health points, worse.
Hold on. How many stages of cracked are you on?
2?
2.
Nearly hit third.
Cat's details. Okay. No, never mind.
What's the difference between spider climb and spider form?
Spider form is self-cast only, but you get the ability to swing and shoot silk effectively. Plus, you sprout the legs, so it means that you can climb walls and leave your other limbs free. So it means a monk can do all the monk things they want to do while they have this spell active. But it's self-cast only.
Okay, and cat. Unprepared.
Spider climb.
Spider climb
To use.
command.
No, it doesn't have
No,
spider climb anymore.
not unprepared. It got changed by the use of gaining spider form from the silk spinner. Spider climb got upgraded to that. Because it is technically an upgrade, given Cat was the only real intended user of spider climb up until now. Gaseous form you could use. You'd have to base it off of when the wind goes, and you'd have 10 rounds of that, of trying to make it up. And depending on where you were, you might not end up on target, but you could still potentially do it. And you could cancel
10
concentration and fall if you wanted to as well.
You'd have a little more than 10 rounds, wouldn't you? How long's the round?
6
Does it last
seconds.
an hour?
Yeah, but you've got 100 feet to climb going 10 feet a second.
Oh, right.
At the point you reach the edge, you're no longer worrying about flying off into the sunset at from high-speed winds.
I see, okay. But yeah, I can cast that, but it'll be...
It would be risky, but it would be doable, and it would be able to get somebody up there over the edge. Wouldn't necessarily do anything else for them, and they could still potentially be seen and or arrested, so there's a lot of problems there. Overall, there's nothing that you can really think of. This is a very secure location, and you can see why it's difficult to get to. So, I will say, the group of Vinny, Kirv, and Cat, if you would like to take a break, get some drink or some food and take a quick break, then you're welcome to, while I continue to talk to Kay.
If either of you come up with any ideas, send me a message.
Yeah, by all means. And if you want to hop into the other chat to have a conversation, you're more than welcome to, and I'll call you back if need be. So, Kay,
Okay.
what would you like to do?
Alright. The only thing that I can think of... The only thing I can think of is trying to get in at the tower. That's really the only thing that I can think of about getting through.
Okay.
But if they're not expecting people to show up, there's gotta be... The main thing I was thinking of was trying to play myself off as a plague knight that collects rats. Well, not collects, but is sort of like an exterminator of specializing in rats.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've let them see a rat, and I know that they've seen rats inside, I might be able to get them to let me in and deal with the rats.
Should we say some time passes in the meantime?
I mean, I know something's happening at midnight. The only thing if okay, I don't know exactly how many rats come in a swarm. So,
I'd say about a good 50, 60 in this instance.
so about uh give me 1 sec.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so about 60. Okay. With this fence, the rats can't really slip out too easily, can they? Or
Yeah, the rats can easily move through here. They're tiny, so they're able to move through this quite happily. You, on the other hand, can't.
okay. What I'd like to do is I would like to split my rats up even more
Mm-hmm.
to make a total of 12 teams of 5.
Okay.
Because I can't freely make my way over to here, I
Mm-hmm.
need teams of rats to be able to get over to here and spread out to. I'm not sure exactly how these people are gonna get here, if they're gonna come through the front or not. So I'm going to have my rats, and I'm going to make sure that both this rat swarm and this rat swarm both know that they need to keep an eye on the sky and the ground.
Okay.
Because the people that might be coming could just fly in. So, or there might be a secret entrance in here or something that I don't know of.
Okay.
It's the only real thing that I can think of for right now. So they're basically just gonna spread out along like the perimeter
Mhm.
in bushes and stuff, and just keeping an eye out for anybody that shows up.
Okay. Also, go ahead and make me 3 stealth checks for these 3 swarms, please.
I'm gonna borrow this again.
Okay.
Oh, pretty good.
Oh, pretty good. The rats otherwise spread out, mostly being unseen. I'll say something like this. Look good?
Yes.
Okay. And where would you like to be?
I'm going to have this rat swarm move over to here,
Mm-hmm.
and I am going to take its position after I tell this one its new orders.
Okay. Okay. You take the time to do that. As you let all of them know, and you wait to see what happens. About half an hour passes. You receive word from these 2 rat swarms as the chain of command is passed back to you, as the rats inform you there are some individuals entering the building. 3 of them through the back. They knocked out the guards.
Knocked out guards. Interesting. This might be my opportunity to get inside. Alright. Considering those guards are knocked out, I'm going to have them go around the outside this way and tell all the rats to reconvene near that door with me.
Okay.
So that I have them for purposes.
Okay, so the 4 rat swarms going to be over here.
I'm going to come around and collect them, and just from looking at these guards from here, have they been moved? Are they trying to hide that they've knocked them out, or?
Give me just a moment. Okay. So, as you otherwise go around the corner having a look to see what's going on, you see the guards, and both of them are kind of just slumped as if sleeping up against the door. They were not in that position when you saw them maybe about half an hour ago.
And they're actually up against the door.
Yeah, they're leaning up against either side of the door.
Okay. Well, now's as good a time as any to go and check out and see what's happening. Since they are
I'll
asleep,
say they're about there, more accurately.
I am going to approach the door
Okay.
and just because I've come through, just walking up to this door, does this door seem very solid, or?
It's a solid door, yeah, but it's decorative at the same time. I'll say as you approach, and with your kind of general passive perception and the light that you can see these two guards where they're slumped up against the pillar. One of them is kind of heavily drooling, and you can see there are bruise marks around their neck. They might be dead, you're not sure.
I am going to... just to get an understanding of these people, I'm going to, check the closest one to me and see if he's actually dead.
Okay, make me a medicine check. Okay. Looking over, he's not dead. He is unconscious for certain, but you can see what looks to be marks of strangulation. The individual has been strangled until a point of unconsciousness and then left to sleep against the edge here. And as you kind of look at the other one, you can see signs of similar nature. But you can see what looks to be almost like sections of their neck where it is harsher than others, with what looks to be more kind of heavy welts and bruising where something uneven has grabbed them. It's not a hand necessarily.
I see.
It looks like it could be, very much so, but it looks almost like it's pointed, like the individual either has claws or there's a sharp object attached to it.
Interesting. Okay. I'm going to attempt to open this door slightly, just enough to be able to take a peek inside and see what I can see.
Okay. You otherwise take a peek inside. You can see that this guard is unconscious and this guard is unconscious.
Interesting. Alright.
You can see that both of them are in a similar state to the other ones, by the way.
Okay, I'm going to see... I'm not going to attempt to go in through the door. I'm actually going to go to this... This one was a bit higher up, wasn't it?
There's one below, and then there's a larger one higher up.
Okay, I'm going to go to the one that's below.
Okay.
And I am going to attempt to open this one.
Okay. Make me a Thieves' Tools check, please.
Oh, come on.
Okay. Using your finger, you go to try and unhook it. This is a lock that you're not very familiar with. It's more modernized, something you're not used to, and you're unable to do so. I'll say make me a stealth check as a result of this to see if your stealth is broken at all.
Come on. I mean, that's a 10.
Okay. No one is outside to have noticed this. If there is anybody inside, they will have.
Alright. I am going to be assigning things.
Okay.
I look at Jeff. If I tell you to do something, will you?
Nods.
Okay. You are going to stay outside here.
Nods.
If one of my rats come out and come to you, go to the inn, find Kat and tell her something's gone wrong.
Jeff nods.
And I will assign one of my rats, if something happens to me, to come out and go to Jeff.
Okay.
This is my only opportunity to get in and get this thing. I have to take it.
Okay.
Now's the time.
So I'm going to leave Jeff here.
As in, how do you mean? How's the time?
This is your opportunity.
Yeah. It's my
Oh, now's
opportunity
the
to
time.
get
Sorry, I thought you said how is the time. And I was like, it's 10 p.m. in game, but yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
in. Alright. I am going to go back to the door. And I am going to be as quiet as possible to get in and try and look around.
Okay. Make me a stealth check and then a perception check, please.
Stealth is left, perception is right.
Okay. Okay. Stepping inside, you feel very careful and very cautious as you do so. Sliding into the interior and just giving a general kind of courtesy look around. You see that these two are very much unconscious. You also notably hear what sounds to be footsteps as a head pops out from around this corner here of what looks to be a humanoid form. From what you can tell, there is no armor or clothing from the shoulders up where they otherwise look out, except for a completely plain metal mask, otherwise seemingly adorned onto the front of the head. You see no straps, no nothing attached to the metal mask, as they otherwise look round the corner in your direction and just kind of do a general courtesy scan almost before they begin to move back. Something or someone that you were not aware of when you came in here the first time. They didn't seem to spot you, though, as you are hidden behind some shrubs. Small potted plant.
Alright. Time to split up a couple rats.
Mm-hmm.
I want teams of two.
Mm-hmm.
I would like one to try and check out this door and see what's behind it,
Uh-huh.
and the other to check out this door. I am going to try and go through this way, trying to make my way to the tower.
Okay.
I feel like if I can find this thing anywhere, it's the tower.
Okay, so the rats are going to split up. The one that gets to this door first squeaks under. Give me a perception check. For a rat, I believe that's a +1.
Going to double.
+0 for rats. So what was it you rolled?
11.
11. Has a look around, reporting back to you. Looks like a bedroom. Can't smell anyone in there though.
Okay.
And the rat will take a little bit of time as it heads down this way.
Okay.
Roll me a stealth check for the rat, please.
Stealth check for rat. Oh.
As the rat heads down this way, kind of squeaking along and moving along here, you are about to enter this door when you watch as that form, the full form of the particular individual, otherwise shoots past. As you see this particular figure shoot up and snatch up the rat in one large claw swing.
That must have been the one that took out the guards.
As you can see what looks to be kind of the dark greyish flesh, the white mask kind of just adorned straight to the neck, it would seem. With what looks to be these long tubes and canisters that are stuck into its back with large metal clamps set into its spine and rib cage. One large arm has been replaced with a massive hooked claw with spines running down it and a series of green tubes and lighting running across the surface of it. In the other hand, what looks to be a dagger poised as it's held there, now with a dead as the knife has been taken to the dead rat and has currently been poked through it as the rat was being held up. The rat is now clearly dead as it takes the rat and throws it to the ground and has another cursory look around. Roll a perception check for it. Okay. Go ahead and roll me a stealth check to oppose this. You still have you have a guard between you and it, so you will still get the benefit of not having disadvantage here.
I live.
Oh, hello Romulus.
Hello,
You're currently down. You're currently underneath. Kay is doing a solo operation, and none of the party knows how to get up there. So
Yeah,
It's-
events have taken a turn.
Okay. Short version.
you didn't sell the object. The individual didn't want it. You went down. You went back because you were told to. Kay was left up there because Kay had nothing better to do, and he's sneaking in because of the event. Kay has just gotten there. The guards that have Kay's been staking out the place, and the guards that have been around here have just been knocked out by a series of individuals. But you don't know who or what they are. The most that you know is that they are greyish humanoid individuals, a solid white mask on with a kind of a metal frame around the exterior, tubes and canisters stuck into their back, and what looks to be a metal frame that attaches to their spine and rib cage from the exterior inwards. What looks to be one arm has been replaced with a large claw that has green pipes and tubing running across it, giving this fluorescent green glow, and general rags and clothing that go from the waist down, masking anything else. Their other hand holds a dagger. The art for such an individual is here, and I will enlarge it so you can get a better look at these particular individuals that you have just witnessed, or that Kay has just witnessed. So, Kay,
Yes.
what was your stealth check total?
22, I believe.
Okay. Definitely
Yeah.
positioning yourself like a game of hole in the wall. You position yourself such a way that none of you can be seen as this individual does a cursory scan, noting the other rat coming out of here and begins to take a step forward. What would you like to do?
The only thing that I can think of, this door is not open, right?
Do you wish to push it and just go inside? Or try to go inside, I should say?
I'd like to try and get the door to be pushed open and go inside before he can actually see the door.
Okay, make me a sleight of hand check then, please.
Please, please, please.
Okay.
That's a 25.
The door is indeed open, and as you slip inside, you can see that the kitchen is otherwise empty. And this would be what it would be like if it was during the day, like you'd planned. But in this instance, as you slip inside, you can see the interior, and you kind of gingerly put the door to a near closed position as to not alert the position of this. You hear the sound of one more squeaking rat as one more life is snuffed out. The position of this individual is currently unknown, but the last known location was here.
I am, just in case he tries to check in here, I am going to find the best place to hide in this area.
Make me a stealth check, I'll say with advantage, given you have potentially a little bit of time, if not a lot, depending on how long it takes them to potentially search for this. For you here.
Another 22.
22. I'll say you position yourself right underneath between this triangular section of boxes here. As you otherwise scurry to there, the individual kind of pushes open the door and has a look around the room, a cursory look. You're not entirely sure how they're seeing. As much as there are what look to be almost grooves in the mask, they don't go all the way through. There is no visual place where they can see from. But the individual looks around, and you can kind of hear heavy, what would be heavy breathing from the mask as the individual looks around and has just a general look about this place. As they move over to one of the sacks and they just peel up with their claw as the what looks to be grain just kind of spills out. They have just a cursory look around the area before exiting through this door.
Alright. Probably not the best idea to go that way anymore. Alright.
I mean, we found out that the necklace was going to be disappearing sometime around midnight. Want to bet this is why?
Probably. Alright. I will give time to try and go into power. I'll wait a bit for trying to go into the tower.
Okay.
Considering that there was a bedroom there, that's another good place to try and check. Since they're always there. Or since that would be his bedroom. Most likely.
Not sure.
I mean, considering the guards go home, it might be his. And so far, all I know is that that's a dining room, probably. This is a kitchen. That's a tower of some sort. Alright. I'm going to leave one rat amongst the boxes here.
Okay.
To keep an eye out if this big guy comes through here again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to come out this door.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going, before I fully come out, I am going to look around and make sure he's not in this hallway.
Okay. I'll say go ahead and make me a perception check. Okay. Wary that you now have other individuals in here who might have similar interests and at the very least have shown hostility towards your rats, you're taking no chances. And looking out into the hallway, you note that it is clear as you step out into the hallway.
Alright. Rat is going into this pot here.
Okay.
To keep an eye out for the big guy if he comes through.
Okay.
And not wasting any time, I'm going into the bedroom.
Okay. You go over to the bedroom. The bedroom door is unlocked. You head inside. You head into the interior. You can see what looks to be a door across the way, which leads into a restroom. And you can see what looks to be a bathtub. You know that it is partially filled with water, and you know that there are what looks to be marks on the wood and the carpet as if there was a scuffle in here.
So they probably interrupted his bath. He's probably naked in there. Alright.
You otherwise note that there is a desk here with stuff on top of it, magnifying glass, ink, quill, paper, books. You see bookshelf. You can see what looks to be a bedside table with a lantern on top of it, which is currently dull. But you can see a number of crystals that hang around the area. You can see the bed frame and the bed in place. What would you like to do?
Alright. I am going to doesn't look like anybody has roughly messed with the desk, right?
No. I'll say go ahead and make me an investigation check for the state of the room, courtesy the scuffle.
Investigation, that's a 10.
You can tell that there was one or more people in this room when the scuffle began. You didn't hear anything from the exterior, which, again, you weren't able to hear much through the windows, so that may have played partially to it, but you see what looks to be general scuff marks along the rug in the center of the room. That's about it.
Okay, considering I know what the gnome look, and I know that they are a smaller individual.
Mhm.
I'd like to try and look at the struggle, and if it looks like if he tried to run anywhere in particular.
Okay, I'll say from this investigation check, it's hard to tell what exactly happened here. There aren't clear boot prints or footprints or blood spatters or anything. It is clean, just roughed up. You can tell what looks to be the chair has been pulled slightly, where someone may have grabbed onto it. You can see that the rug has been dragged across, where someone has clawed at it.
Okay. The only places I can think of. What is this? Is this a fireplace?
It's a dresser.
Okay. My only real concerns in this room are trying to search in the obvious spots where it could be hidden.
Okay.
AKA the desk, dresser, and the bed.
Okay, go ahead and make me an investigation check, please. Are you being thorough with this, or are you being quick?
I am going to be thorough as I am trying to get this.
Okay, so make this an advantage.
I know it would probably be better to go quick, but
That's
I
fine.
want to get it first.
Okay.
That is... that's a 21.
21. Looking around the room, no such necklace, unfortunately. You check in the dresser, it's just fancy clothes. All of which would suitably fit you if you wanted to take a set. So you can add a set of fine clothes if you want to nick something. Looking under the bed, you find what looks to be a small coffer. It doesn't seem to be locked. It is locked, but there is a key quite easily found within the side drawer. It doesn't take you too long, as you are quite thorough with this. And as you take the key and open it up, please add 200 platinum to your inventory, please.
Well, there's my money for the auction.
And looking through the desk, you find several vials of unopened ink. I'll say you find 3.
I was just gonna say I am gonna nick those since I know Cat has been trying to get ink.
So you get 3 vials of unopened ink. This is a higher quality ink, so this will be worth 250 gold per for Cat's crafting. Additionally, you find stacks of what looks to be a very fine paper. Similarly, another 250 gold's worth of fine paper. So, assuming you're going to give these to Cat. Cat, you currently there?
Yeah.
Please add 250 gold's worth of ink and paper to your inventory. It's 2 separate, so 500 total, as Kay has just stolen those for you. Looking over the rest, Kay, you also pick up a magnifying glass, 3 quills, and what looks to be and there are a number of books which just seem to be either reading books or writing in some way. Diaries, record books. Nothing that would particularly catch your interest in this particular manner, but you are noting transactions to and from, things like that. Cursory glance. No mention of a necklace whatsoever, though.
Okay. Alright. Probably won't find it in here. The only other thing is to try and make it to that tower.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
As you get close to the edge of the doorway, you can hear footsteps outside. What would you like to do?
Just from all the searching I've done in this room,
Mm-hmm.
what do I know just right off the top of my head of a good spot that a small person like me can be able to hide?
Somewhere that they won't check. I mean, the only best place really would be underneath the chair, as that's the least likely place for people to check if they're looking for stuff. That would be your best guess. Outside of that, in the bathroom could work very well, provided they don't go in there, as that would be a complete total cover area.
I think the best thing to do is to hide underneath the chair.
Okay, go ahead and give me a stealth check. This will be with a bonus +2 due to half cover. It's not the best, but it's the least likely to be searched in the event of somebody coming in.
Do I get advantage for this one?
Nope, this will just be a flat roll, because this will be used if somebody comes in.
That's 6 plus 7 plus 2.
Okay, so 15. Okay. As you otherwise hide underneath the chair, and you wait a second, you can still hear footsteps as the door is pushed open, and you see another figure come in. Slightly different to the one beforehand, notably. This one wanders in and has a similar physique, but you note that the individual's mask is different, and they have larger canisters on their back. As the individual walks in and has a general scan of the room, they don't seem to note you, as they go over and they kind of pull open a number of the drawers with their dagger sheath at their side. As they go over and they pull open a number of the drawers and then just kind of push them closed again. I'll say, what's your passive perception? Passive perception is 14.
My passive perception is 15.
15, okay. I would like you... I need to quickly check something real quick. Okay. In this instance, you aren't able to feel magic in this instance around the area, as you know, because the area seems to be affected by some great smothering that's unaffecting your magic capabilities. But you can still see shimmers, as you note that the individual's mask is shimmering. The individual otherwise has a look around in this particular instance, kind of stopping and turns a little bit in general directions. One looking off towards the tower direction, and another one looks off. They again look off towards this room somewhere in this general direction before they continue searching. They move over to the side table. Do you wish to do anything while they're over here? The door is currently open.
Okay, they did leave the door open.
Yeah.
Considering they looked over, I'm guessing that these people might have a thing of telepathy or something to know where each other are. So judging by that, I think my best option, because this isn't really that good of a hiding spot, my best option is to I'm gonna get out of the room.
Okay.
While they're turned around looking at the bed, I'm getting out of here.
Okay. Go ahead and make me a stealth check with advantage, as they are not going to be looking in your current direction. Should that matter. Okay, nice. You deftly and quickly sneak out of the room, kind of moving around the corner. You can see your rat is still in place, but very much huddled close, and you can still sense your rat in here. Where would you like to go from here?
My idea was to try and make it to the tower. The only way for me to do that, I don't think it's possible for. When I was in here,
Mm-hmm.
would I have noticed which way this door opened? If it opened towards the kitchen or out?
Opens outwards, away from the kitchen.
Okay, so
The
no,
ones from
not going that way.
all of the rooms enter towards hallways. For the ease of access, so you can kind of back into them if you're holding plates, or if you just want to leave the room. So everything opens up towards a hallway, if that makes it easier for you.
Okay. Alright. I am. Does this guy have a weapon?
Yes, he is currently carrying a long sword and spear.
Alright. My plan is I am going to.
Or I should say a bill hook, but yeah.
I don't know if they've taken care of the guards out here, and I doubt they have because those guards are out there, and yeah. My plan is I am going to set the spear up in a way to where it will fall over and make noise, and hit something and make noise
Okay.
as I'm going out this door, to try and draw the attention of these guys and these guys to the hallway, and then try and get into the tower from outside. The only thing I can think of.
Okay. Alrighty. Go ahead and give me I'll say the sleight of hand check to set this up. I'm going to say the DC for this will be 10. The higher the roll, the better timed it will be.
Alright. Sleight of hand. That's another 22.
Okay, 22. You place the spear in place. You deftly put it there and slowly back towards the door. As you leave, otherwise making no noise whatsoever, the spear slides, hits the ground, just kind of with a thud. Make me a perception check.
Perception. Another 22.
22. Otherwise, listening in, you hear the sound of immediate kind of footfalls and movement. Are you leaving the door slightly open, or are you closing it?
I'm closing it, because it looked like, actually,
I'll say if you close it, you'll be rolling with disadvantage, so you'll need a second roll.
I might leave it open just to make them think somebody came in and they went that way.
Okay.
So I'm going to leave it slightly open as I make my way through.
As you make your way where, sorry?
I'm going to go this way.
Okay. With the intent to go up here. Oh.
Yeah, since this window was closer to the stairs, it might be the best one to try and go into.
Okay. Given you are leaving with the perception check, I'll say you hear footfalls, but that's about it. You don't know the entire outcome of what happens here.
Well, I'm just gonna hope that my plan worked, and I need to get into this window because this is my only way of getting into the tower and finding what I need to find.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a sleight of hand check.
Sleight of hand. That's a 19.
19. Okay. You deftly, kind of sticking your tail and your claw in, you pop whatever this new lock is that you're not used to from its particular housing. As you do, you push the window up and step in, and your nose immediately catches a very familiar scent to you. The smell of blood. And as you look in, you see the interior, which is a study. As you step into this room, and you find what looks to be the headless body of Polet on the floor, blood scattered across what desk was here. This door is ajar, but you see nobody else around. So I'll remove this one because you don't know where this one is currently.
Alright, I think my best option is to head up. I don't...
Head up.
Yeah, I'm gonna head up the tower.
Okay. I need to expand these, lock them in place, and then unlock this one. Heading up the tower, you head into what looks to be a room above, which is currently empty. It looks to be a solo room. Nothing of interest is in here as you look around.
Okay, this... judging by the way it looks, it doesn't look like it would house what I am looking for.
And you know the next bit leads up to the top of the tower. You know the ladder across the room that leads to a hatch.
Alright, just walking over to this. Does it look like anybody's been up this recently?
No. Looking at this room, and I'll say just with a passing investigation check, this is seemingly a guest room and hasn't been used in weeks by the looks of it.
So probably anything up here might not hold what I'm looking for.
Okay.
Yeah, if it doesn't look like anybody's actually been up here for a while, and it hasn't been weeks since the thing was stolen, right?
Mm-hmm.
The necklace. All right, so I doubt it would be up here.
Okay.
I'm going to carefully go down and check around the corner, or check this room as best I can to make sure that nobody's in here while I'm looking.
Okay. Make me a stealth and perception check. Stealth on the left, perception on the right, please.
Oh my...
Okay. Stealth-wise, as you step into the room, your foot kind of catches on a bit of blood that was splattered on the stairs, and you slide. Not enough to otherwise hurt you by any means, but enough to make some noise as you otherwise slide and land. You then frantically look around the room. Nobody is around, and you can't hear any movement towards you either. You may have just gotten away scot-free if nobody was around.
I'm not going to take any chances. I'm going to try and quickly wipe the blood off my feet with my cloak.
Mm-hmm.
And there was what? A table, chair, couch.
Mm-hmm.
Up here was a bed. Is this
Bookshelf?
just a shelf that's just hanging on the wall, or is it like a...
It goes all the way to the floor, but it's mounted against the wall, it would seem.
Okay, I'm just gonna have one of my rats hide underneath of this.
Okay.
And I am going to go up to this room and use the same thing to hide underneath this chair. And this rat, its job is if nothing comes into the room looking for anything, in like 2 or 3 minutes to come to me.
Okay. You wait for that moment. The rat comes to you. Nothing seems to have alerted anything.
Alright,
Cat, give me a roll.
What?
Give me a roll.
Okay. 8.
Total?
8.
8.
Am I adding something to it?
No, this would just be an 8. Okay.
Okay.
Alright, in that case, since nothing came, I'm going to head back down and make sure not to mess with that blood again.
Okay.
I need to check this room before anything comes. Coming down into this room, even though this door is ajar, does it look like things have been searched in here?
Yes. Things have been overturned, searched. It has been roughed up in here.
Okay. Can I get a judgment by how things have been searched in here? Does it look like they possibly found what they are looking for?
I'm going to say that it's inconclusive. In this instance, you know that it has been roughed up and looked through, but it looks like it's been looked through in the same manner that you saw the other individual doing in this room.
Okay, so they didn't thoroughly search.
No, they did a general search of where stuff might be.
Okay, if that's the case, I'd like to thoroughly search this desk here.
Okay.
And see if there is a possibility that any of these drawers or anything might have a false bottom.
Okay, make me an investigation check. Okay.
Investigations. Another 22.
Okay. Having a look around in this particular section, looking for false bottoms, you don't find anything within the drawers of note. You find stacks, a few bits of paper which have been mostly destroyed and disturbed. You can see what looks to be a book of not really that much interest, just some form of reading book. As you look through the desk itself, you otherwise find what looks to be a small kind of loose bottom to it. And as you push down and peel up, you note what looks to be a wire that is attached to it. And as you peel it up and feel it, there is this immediate puff of energy in your general direction. I'd like you to go ahead and make me a Constitution saving throw, please. This is against poison, but I don't remember if you have... I think you lost your resistance to that in favour of the magic detection.
I only have advantages against diseases.
Okay, so in this instance, as this occurs, this would be 2 of these. You take 10 points of poison damage, and you are poisoned for the next hour.
That's fine. Considering that's there might actually be something valuable in here.
Looking at the bottom of this, you can see what looks to be a case of some form, a long case of some form.
I will be taking this case out.
Okay.
Being careful now more because there was a trap, so I'm just going to do my best to make sure that there's nothing going to go off when I pick up the case when I try and open it.
Make me an investigation check with disadvantage because you are poisoned.
That's perfectly fine. Okay, that is not that fine. You said investigation.
Mm-hmm.
7.
Looks fine to you. No traps that you can see.
Well, this is my only chance to try and get this before they do, so I'm just going to take the risk and just grab the case as fast as possible.
Okay, you snag the case. Nothing seems to trigger.
I am going to open the case. I'm going to be careful about opening this case.
Okay.
I didn't see any. It doesn't have a key or anything, does it?
No, just needs to be a long case.
Okay, so it shouldn't have any issues about opening the case. I'm going to open the case and see if it has what I'm looking for.
Okay. Opening up the case and otherwise taking a look inside, you can see what looks to be a cylindrical kind of metal device of some kind. It's not what you're looking for, unfortunately.
Is there anything else that I can search? I have what I'm looking for. I mean, okay. I don't know exactly how much time I have left.
Mm-hmm.
And I did make sure to leave this open just in case I need to make a fast getaway.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to look at these books
Mm-hmm.
that are on the bookshelves and things. And I would like to see if I can tell of any of these books that might have been moved more recently than the other.
Make an investigation check with disadvantage.
I have to keep going. I can't stop. That's pretty good. 18.
18. You otherwise have a look at the books. There are a number of them which have been taken and looked at more recently, and as you otherwise kind of get a look, they seem to be record books of some kind, or reading books of another fashion. You have a look through, kind of doing a quick flick, make sure there's nothing actually inside the book. Nothing.
There has to be something. Okay, just from what I've seen so far.
I'll say at this point, just to help you out here,
Yeah.
a rat runs into the room from this open door, moves up to you, or kind of moves up around the blood and says to you, "The three of them have left through the back."
Alright. Alright. Maybe they might not have found what they are looking for. Maybe they did. I don't know. Okay, just from what I've seen of this place, if I was trying to hide something, could I get an idea just of where I've seen in this house, and I'm trying to hide something that I stole? Can I get an idea of where I might have probably hid it?
I will say, given your poisoned mind making it a little bit more difficult, but given the general thoroughness that you've shown so far, you've looked in all the good places. You don't know. You think about it and you go, there was no false bottoms on the drawers, you're fairly certain of that. There was nothing in the kitchen. Why would anybody hide anything in there? You're in the only other room that would make sense, seemingly a reading and study area. There's nowhere that you can think of where they would hide something like that necessarily. The only thing that comes to mind for you is that if they've left, they presumably have found what they're looking for.
That's the only thing I can think of, considering the fact that they killed him too.
No, alternatively, it could have been hidden up his ass.
I'm not searching his ass.
Well, I mean, he's butt
And
naked on
then
the
you'll never
floor.
find the necklace.
He's butt naked on the floor. You were right about that. So, because he was indeed starting to take a bath before.
Maybe
this
it
happened.
was up his ass and it slipped out, and that's why he had to die.
So, is there any way you wish to go or do before leaving?
You said, is his head laying somewhere?
No. His head has been removed and seemingly taken with.
The only thing I can think about trying to do... I don't know if it'll work, but I will see if I can try, because I have gotten things like this before. I would like to take a bite out of him, and I would like to try and see if I can get... I know I did this once before on accident when it came to the little
I know what you
things
mean.
in the skeletons.
Yep.
I got to know where others were.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see if I can try and do that again, but try and see if I can understand where he put this necklace.
Go ahead and make me, I'll say, an intelligence check with disadvantage because you are poisoned.
Intelligence, that is that one. So +2. If there's any time for a high roll, it'll be now. It's a 13. It's the best I've
13.
got.
You bite into him, and as you do, you take a bite and you pull back. The flesh is gummy and stiff now as rigor mortis has begun to set in. The blood is a bit loose as you otherwise pull back, bite for a moment, and swallow. As your mind takes you to a viewpoint, a smothered viewpoint, mind you, as it seems that the memories are a bit faded given there are none currently, given the head is missing. But you can feel the body as if it's sat somewhere with a knife and fork in hand.
There's no way it's hidden in the kitchen. Alright, we're gonna investigate the kitchen. They've left, but I'm still being careful.
Okay.
I am checking everywhere before I enter places and all that.
Okay.
But I am, or not the kitchen, the dining area.
The dining area. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry.
Traveling across, you see these two are currently here. One of them has bled out and died as a dagger has been shoved straight through the individual's neck, seemingly the guard captain.
Well,
As you pass through from this room to this room, you see this room has also been in a scuffle, and you can see there's another body there.
Okay, well, they did come in like I was expecting.
Okay. As you head into the dining room, you are currently here. You can see what looks to be the edges of some sofas, what looks to be a cabinet next to you, which is full of glassware, which has been undisturbed. You can see a dining table where what looks to be a set of lit crystal candelabra is currently sat there.
Alright. I'm just gonna take a little bit of step in more just to see more of this room before I do anything too much.
Looking in, you can see what looks to be the edges of a series of glass cabinets. Unfortunately, all of the glass has been shattered and anything that was in there has now gone.
Figures it was a kitchen or dining area, wherever. Well, I suppose while I got time, I might as well see if I can nick anything else.
Okay. Go ahead and I'll say roll me an investigation check with disadvantage.
That's the only thing I can do. Okay. 7.
7. You otherwise have a look around. There's nothing of interest. I'll say you take a thorough look and you can see what looks to be notes underneath each of the cabinets, kind of in giving them the display case show, as it were. And you note the following names of the following item. Moor's Grasp, which looks, from the description, a necklace owned by... And then the rest of it currently lays blank, as if it's to be filled in still.
Mall's what?
Moor's Grasp. A necklace owned by blank. You see Abyssal Anchor, kept by the demon lords of the Abyssals. Of the Abyssal Depths, sorry. Kept by the demon lords of the Abyssal Depths.
Okay.
Song of Silence. You see that there is no plaque or any detail further beyond that.
Silence.
And Scribe's Wisdom, a memory from my youth.
Scribes. Alright. Well, probably the necklace that was there is the one that we were looking for, and that is no longer here. But I'm not sure. The only thing I can think of is just getting out of here now. I've looked all over the place. I didn't find it. They're gone, which means they probably found it. I mean, I could try to follow them, but
They've been gone. They've been gone for a little while now. Trying to follow them will be very difficult.
It's also very dangerous.
Mhm.
I'm just going to collect my rats. The other ones that were hidden inside of here.
Mm-hmm.
Are they still alive? The ones that left in here before?
No.
Okay, so they did get found and died.
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, I will just gather the 2 rats that I left and gather Jeff.
Okay.
And I will be telling Jeff to go to Cat and tell Cat that the necklace was taken.
Okay. You go to Jeff, send Jeff off as Jeff flies up and away. You from the outside hear from the shout, or hear from the front what sounds to be a shout. Get the others! There's been a raid! As a shout is made from the front of the building. What would you like to do?
I will be... What's on the other side of this?
Road.
Just road. Okay.
Yep. Street.
Well, they'll probably be busy with that, so I am going to take my cloak and kind of like tuck it in to my pants currently. And I'm going to do my best to try and make it over this without getting caught up on it.
Okay, make me a dexterity save, please. Just a flat roll. Poison does not give you disadvantage on this, so it'll just be the left one.
This left one. Dex save. That's a 15.
15. Just about. As you otherwise sling yourself over the top, preventing yourself from getting snagged at all, you slide over the railing and onto the road. You take a quick glance around, and now that shout has been made, there are lights of individuals who are now paying a bit more attention to this place. You can escape, but how would you like to try? I'll say from this position you can see that there is the edge of the disc, not far from here, maybe one block away, that would lead off and into the street, into the town below, but it would be a fall, to say the least. You do also note that there is otherwise it would be about a 1-2 minute run to make it to either of the gates, which are probably heavily guarded at the moment.
I could just play it off as I'm one of the plague knights. I'd like to try and make my way towards the gate that we didn't come through.
Okay.
They haven't had. I doubt they'd have people coming there. My main thing is how I'm gonna try and get there. I am going to mostly be trying to avoid their lights. So when I see people with lights coming, I'm going to try and hide near one of the houses as best I can. Or something. What is there to hide behind on these streets?
Not much.
Is there anything?
Each of these houses is either walled off or has like a basic front garden. You'd either be hiding on properties away from around buildings or around walls. That would be the most that you can get. This is the only one in the area that has spiked topped fences, but still.
Alright. The only thing that I can think of about being able to get out of here is making it look like I am a plague knight, since I am dressed like them. That I know that for sure. And that's the only thing that I can think of. But what I'm actually going to do is make it look like I'm walking towards this area and not away from it. That would make me look suspicious if I get seen.
Okay. I'll say go ahead and make me a stealth check. This will be with disadvantage because you are poisoned.
Stealth. That's a 15.
Okay. 15. Moving from building to building as best you can, there are a lot of close calls, and you're finding yourself feeling groggy and dizzy from the poisonous effect that has taken effect on you. You are able to evade most of the guards, but where they are on an alerted and heightened sense, you think you're barely scraping by. All it would take was a good pair of eyes, and all of a sudden you'd be caught. But you do continue making your way away from the one that you wanted to. It is on the opposite side of the disc, but you do travel a good 3-4 blocks before I'm going to need to ask you to make another stealth check if you wish to continue with this.
I'm a decent enough distance away from this place, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. At this point, I am just gonna make it look like I am an actual plague knight, and I'm making it look like I was actually told that I need to leave, wasn't told why, but I am still making it look like I am investigating the area as I'm making my way towards the other exit.
Okay.
They just pointed me towards this exit and told me that I need to leave.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a performance check. I'll say countering the disadvantage that you have from poisoned with the fact that you have the part.
Oh, come on.
Okay. As you begin to kind of saunter and wander through the streets, there is a moment where the guards do pick up on this strange individual walking through as a group of 3 guards approach and go, "Hey, what are you doing out this late? Who are you?" They lower their spears towards you, kind of lanterns hanging and illuminating the air around you.
I just look. I don't know exactly how they would look per se. I'm just a plague knight, making sure no infection got here. You heard about what happened in Trenlor's Rest, right?
Go ahead and roll. This will just be a performance set check with disadvantage here.
Oh, come on!
The guards otherwise look at you and almost immediately begin to see through your disguise as one of them pulls out a set of manacles and begins walking towards you. "Alright, mate, you're coming with us. What would you like to do?"
You said the rest of these houses don't really have fences around them, right?
They don't have spiked fences, no. They have general fences which would take a little bit to climb up and around, but yeah. In this instance, the individuals are currently moving towards you with intent. 2 of them are flanking around on either side, almost to cone you or pen you in.
These guys are in like heavy armor, right?
Yeah.
They're gonna be slow. I am going to unleash the swarm of rats as a distraction, and I'm going to run the opposite way.
Okay.
And I'm dashing.
Okay.
I'm just
You are
dashing.
dashing? Okay.
They should be slow because they are.
Okay. What is your AC currently?
My AC is 17.
2 hits.
That's
As you're running away, the individuals kind of note this, and looking back, you see almost these bits of radiance as they otherwise strike into your back, as you would take. Okay, minimum damage, which is lucky for you, so you only take 8 points of damage. As these 2 bolts strike into the back of your armor, and you glow.
That's not.
You can no longer become invisible, and you have disadvantage on all stealth checks. Additionally, you can be easily tracked by anything that can see bright light.
Well, I'll figure that out when I get there.
For now, I think that's a good point to end our session, because at this point, Kat, as you and the rest of your companions are otherwise waiting underneath for either Kay to show up or anything like that. Actually, no. No. Kat, roll me a perception check with disadvantage because you don't have dark vision. And you're exhausted.
Oh,
Yeah.
know about that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Okay. As you're all sat there, kind of waiting for Kay, none of you notice as Jeff flies over, heading towards the inn as previously instructed to find Kat.
Actually, I did not specify the inn that time when I told him to go.
You told him to go find Kat.
Yep, I just told him to find Kat.
Kat, go ahead and roll me a perception check for Jeff, please. And given the rest of you are remaining inconspicuous,
On that.
this is true.
Oh.
3-1. Only you. Only you get Jamie.
hang
can
on.
Get 3
What's the
ones
total?
on a-
Hang on, I've got to open the character sheet. Yes. Ow, that is plus. Where is my perception? 3.
Plus 3.
3.
14.
Yeah, plus 3. So,
So,
14.
Cat, make me a stealth check with disadvantage. Romulus, Vinny, and Kirv, please all make me stealth checks, please.
Wow.
Oh, I'll roll for you, Romulus. Because, are you in the server?
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm here. Sorry,
Okay.
what was that?
Yeah, stealth check, please.
Did you just roll that nat 20? Or
No,
was
I
that already
did. I
there?
didn't roll because I didn't realize you're in the server.
That's fine. I'll just roll one right up right now. That didn't happen.
Okay.
Stealth though.
Yep.
Plus 2 or 3, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah, plus 2.
Okay.
14.
Kirv, what did you get?
4.
4. So we have 3 successes and 1 failure versus Jeff's perception. Jeff does not see the party as Jeff flies overhead, completely unaware of the presence of the party. As
Sorry. Isn't Jeff a familiar, like magically connected to Cat?
Yes,
Within 100
Jeff is
feet.
also dumb. We have canonically made this happen.
Can't he? They've got telepathy, don't they?
Yeah,
Only when,
like,
only
hey,
when
Cat,
within
where are
100 feet, and right now Jeff is flying overhead, away from the disc, over 100 feet away from you all, flying towards the cloud window where you guys have been staying.
Never had this kind of bullshit from Felipe.
No,
Felipe was fucking great.
Felipe was great. Jeff is,
And now Felipe's like a rock of death or something like that.
yeah, it's
A
like,
death
He's
rock.
like a demigod or like an angel or something.
Yeah.
He's doing good.
yeah. Well, here's the thing. Jeff hasn't really been doing too well, and has crystal for brains, so it's not really helping him out all that much.
I don't even know what he's got for brains anymore.
No.
Oh,
No, I get to have more fun with Jeff now that there's not some weird connection with your familiar. It's just I summon Jeff. Now here's Jeff. So, with Jeff flying away, the party unaware of what's happening outside of what's going on the disc above, as night is beginning to set in, and the party is beginning to hear the sounds of celebration and people dancing, as Kay is currently being chased and illuminated by these guards that he has tried to fool, but failed to do so. That is where we will end the session for tonight. So thank you for watching, hopefully you enjoyed, and we will see you next week. Hopefully, we should have everybody next week. We will see you next week for when we continue with this absolute chaos. Thank you, and bye-bye.
Bye.
Potatoes.